Hello friends. So today in this video we will study about verbs, that what is a verb. First let's begin with this definition. So here you all can see that verbs are the word that tell us about an action, occurrence or state. It means anything which is happened, which is done in the sentence. Verbs are those which tell us about that what happened, what occurred, what done in the sentence, what is the state of the sentence. They form the main part of the predicate of a sentence. So what they used to do, the verbs used to form main part of the predicate. It means in the predicate verbs are the main part. Is it clear? So basically we can say that verbs are the action words in the sentence. Whosoever is performing, doing whatsoever, so those action words are known as verbs, which is in the sentence. They are the main part of the predicate. Okay. Now you can see two main classes of verb. So there are two main classes of verb, the lexical verb and the auxiliary verb, which is also known as helping verb, and the lexical verb, which is also known as main verb. So verb that describe an action and form the main part of a verb phrase. So lexical verb are the main part of the verb, you can say, or you can call them main part or main verb in the sentence, while your auxiliary verbs, they are also known as helping verb. So any form, like form of be, we are having five forms in be: is, am, are, was, were. So form of be: do, have, has, did. These all are the helping verbs in the sentence. Suppose if I will say Rohan is playing basketball. So here the subject Rohan, and what he is doing, the playing, the action is your verb. It's, you can say, main verb, and is a helping verb, you can call. So this is how the two main classes of verbs are working. Now the lexical verb further divide into action verb and the linking verb. So the action verbs talks about that expression which is either done by physical or by mental action. It means either you are talking about the physical action like running, swimming, or you are talking about the mental action which is not visible yet you are performing them directly or indirectly. No one is watching your actions or mental one, but yeah, you are doing something, you are thinking some thought, you are creating any idea, any thought. So this is also a verb. Your mental action is the part of action verb. While in linking verbs, we connect the subject with a complement. So verbs which are connecting the subject with a complement is a linking verb. Like she is a fashion model. So we are connecting. Who is fashion model? Fashion model belongs to the subject, she. So here we are connecting. She is a fashion model. So this is your linking verb. You can say the connection between your subject and a complement if it is showing by a verb. That verb is known as linking verb. Okay. So this was there for the linking verb. That linking verbs are basically used for link the subject with the complement. Suppose if I will say a sentence that he is a singer. He is a singer. So here I am linking the singer with he. That who is singer here? He. Singer is he. But from which verb I am linking the singer and he? Is. So is will act like a linking verb. So linking verbs are the kind of verb which connect the subject with the complement. Now here we can see that auxiliary or helping verbs are also further divided into modal auxiliary and non-modal auxiliary. First of all, what is a modal auxiliary? So, all your modals, there is a separate lesson for modals in English grammar. So, all your modals like will, shall, would, should, can, could, all your modals, when you are using them as a verb, then this will be your modal auxiliary verb. If you are using all these modals as a verb somewhere, so this is your modal auxiliary verb. While non-modal auxiliary verbs are the kind of verb where you are not using any modal. That's why it is non-modal. All your helping verb the same. 5 parts of be, has, have, had, do, does, did. So this will be your non-modal auxiliary verb. Now I'm telling you one sentence how the modals you will use as a verb. So the one example which I will give you for this modal auxiliary verb, first of all, these modals will always tell you about something like your ability, your to grant permission, to all these the work of model for showing possibilities, etc. So suppose if I'm speaking that he can do 50 push-ups when he was in 10th standard. So his ability is showing with the help of this verb can. I'm showing his ability that he was able to do this much push-ups when he was there in the class 10th. So this is how this modal auxiliaries works in a sentence as a form of verb. So he can do 50 push-ups. It means I'm showing his ability with this verb can. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Now we can see that your verbs are further divided into two parts. Subject verb agreement, that is a different topic, and here there are forms of verb: finite verb, non-finite verb, regular verb, irregular verb, phrasal verb, as well as prepositional verbs. So let's study them. What are they? So very first we will start from this one, finite and non-finite verb. So finite verbs are the verbs that use according to the number, person of their subject and have definite tense marker. It means the verbs which are changing or which is reacting with if the number of person is changes in the sentence, if the tenses changes in the sentence, so they are reacting like that. Suppose I'm saying that finite verbs are those verbs which are changing according to the number. If number is changing in the sentence, so finite verb will change. If person is changing, first person, second person, then also the finite verb will change. And if your tense is changing, then also they will change. Like you can see here, the first example, I sing a song. So when the person was I, the verb was sing, but with he, the verb changes into sings, and again with they, the verb changes into sing. So according to the person, they are responding. These verbs are responding. Like he sung a song. So every time they will indicate here that according to the tense, they will respond. So I hope what is a finite verb? Finite verb is something which changes as per number of person or numbers or the tenses. When they are changing, so they will also get change. Now your non-finite verbs, that what are non-finite verbs? So non-finite verbs are the verbs that are not affected. These verbs are not affected by the change of person, by the change of number or tense. They don't get affected by any of them. They are not affected, non-finite, not affected. So they don't get affected by the person, by the subject, or sorry, by the number and by the tense. Like you can see, he likes to sing this song. Same in the person I, the verb is using to sing. With they are using the verb to sing. With you, they are using the verb to sing. So everywhere you can see that persons were different. Subject was different, but the verb was same in all the sentence. So they don't get affected by the subject, they don't affect by the person, they will remain same every time. So basically the identification is this, that non-finite word basically you will write or you will start from to, or it will also have ing in that kind of verbs, or ed at the back. So three things are there to identify which is a non-finite verb. Either they will start from the to, or you will have ing in that verb, or ed. So this is the identification of non-finite verb. Now let's move on the transitive and intransitive verb. So what is a transitive verb and what is a intransitive verb? So verbs, when a verb is we are using a verb and that action is occurred or done on any object, it means that your action is affected object in the sentence. So it means that verb is your transitive verb. Suppose I am giving here a letter, I am giving you here example. I write a letter. So the writing verb is your verb. Writing is your verb. And on which you are writing or what you are writing, letter. So letter is your object. So your work, your verb is affects, make an effects on any object, that is your transitive verb. While in intransitive verb, you don't have your work will not affect on any object. It will not, they will not require any object to make a complete sense. In short, we can say that they don't require any kind of objects to make a complete sense, like she sings. So they are not mentioning any object in it, just she sing. Even though the sentence is complete, it don't require any object here. So I hope this is clear. Like this one is the example again. She ran fast. It is an intransitive verb. No object is here. But in the next same line, the example is she ran a race. So what she ran? A race. She ran for a race. So here the race is your object and running is your verb. In transitive verb, you are supposed to have a object in it, while in your intransitive verb, you don't require any kind of object. Your description is complete in itself without any object. You don't require any object in intransitive verb. I hope it is clear. Now next of yours is finite, non-finite. We have done regular and irregular verb. Again, this is the next form of your verb, regular verb and irregular verbs. So regular verb, we can call them that takes ed to their past and past participle form. It means in the past form, and when you will change into the past participle form, they will contain ed. They are also known as weak verbs. While your irregular verbs are the kind of verb that have different, or you can say that in their past and past participle form, you can see them a different word. Like first, listen the example: touch, touched, and touched. Here, as the form changes, even though the word remain same, but in irregular verb, the verbs get changed when the form is changing. So here you can see the C becomes saw and seen. You are not writing here seed, seed. Ed you are not creating here. Here the form is also changed and the word is also changed. Begin, began, begun. Cut, cut, cut. So these are your irregular verbs example, and they are known as strong verb. Regular one is weak verb and irregular verb are the strong verbs. So now the last topic of today's is your phrasal verb as well as your prepositional verb. So what is a phrasal verb? First of all, in English we know that there is a phrase, there is a clause, there is a sentence. So phrasal verb is, you can call, idiomatic expression consisting of verb. It is just an idiomatic expression. It is not a complete sentence. You don't have to write a complete sentence for phrasal verbs, but yes, whatsoever or howsoever they are creating a meaning from it. Like look down upon. There is no subject in it, there is no object in it. The verb itself is a meaning also, as well as the work also. It is creating a meaning also as well as the verb also. So these are the phrasal verb. Now prepositional verb, same here, linking with the phrasal verb. Here the verbs are always having a preposition at the end, like wait for, come in, go out. It means you will have a verb as well as, like waiting is a verb, and along with the verb you will have a preposition. For is your preposition, come is your verb, in is your preposition, sat is your verb, on is your preposition. So here you will see this kind of things. Go into, go is your verb, into is your preposition. So verb is always linked with the preposition or followed by a preposition. While a phrasal verb don't require a complete sentence, it is complete in the meaning itself. It is acting like a verb also and giving some meaning also without any subject and object and without a sentence. These are your phrasal verb. Few more examples of phrasal verb I am giving. So few more examples, like you can say, like give up, wake up, freak out, get off. So these are here the phrasal verb. They don't have a subject, they don't have an object. The verb is complete in itself by the meaning also. So I hope the description is clear. This subject verb agreement is having a different chapter that we will discuss there, and rest whatsoever is there in the chapter verbs we have discussed: your lexical, your auxiliary, your action verbs, transitive, intransitive, your linking verbs, your modal, auxiliary, non-modal, finite, non-finite, regular, irregular, and your phrasal and prepositional verbs. I hope anything which is there you can ask me later on. Thank you for this video.